Hi guys, my name is Daisy and I am an online English teacher from the UK. And in this video, I want to help you not only understand the present perfect continuous tense, but I want to show you how you can start to use it in your everyday English conversations today. One of the biggest complaints I hear from all of my students from across the world is they don't understand how they can actually use the perfect tenses in their everyday conversations. Sure, they study it, they hit the books, they do the exercises, but when it actually comes to conversations and having chats with people, they remain stuck using the simple tenses like the simple present and the simple past. A little tip for you: whenever I meet people, whether it's online or on my travels, and they're a non-native English speaker, but I can hear that they are using the perfect tenses, the present perfect or the present perfect continuous, it just shows me that they're quite confident with their English. And this is a tip I give to all of my students. If you can start to apply these tenses in your everyday conversations with people, you're going to sound more confident. You're going to sound like you have a real grasp on the English language. So let's start. Okay then, so the present perfect continuous tense indicates that some action or activity started at some point in the past and it's either continuing in the present time or it has just finished. So if the action is still happening now, it could be right now, like right this second, or it could be in general terms. So we'll bear that in mind as we go through our examples. So the basic structure is have or has, depending on who we're talking about, followed by been, then the root verb in the continuous form. So root verb plus ing. For example, I have been working, I've been studying, I have been traveling, she has been dating, he has been watching, they have been growing, we have been organizing. So we're going to look at 3 different ways we use the present perfect continuous in everyday speech. So first of all, we can use the present perfect continuous when we're talking about some kind of action that started in the past, but it has just stopped or just finished. So for example, imagine you go outside and you notice that it's wet on the floor. You can see puddles, but it's not raining right now. You might say, oh, it has been raining, or it's been raining. So here we have the structure, it has been raining. This means that it was raining at some point in the past, but right now it's not. It has just stopped. So in this instance, it was raining and it stopped very recently. And that is why we use this tense. We say, oh, it has been raining. To give you another example, imagine you see your friend and she looks very, very tired. And you say, oh, you're looking tired, you're looking exhausted, are you okay? And she could say to you, oh, I've been working so much this week. I've been working so hard. So in this example, your friend is expressing to you that she was working very hard up until a very recent time, probably yesterday or the same day. She's not working right now, but because this action, this activity recently stopped, this is why she can use the present perfect continuous. Oh, I've been working so hard. I've been working flat out. I'm exhausted. You get the point. Here's another example. So imagine you're at the park and you see a friend, but the friend seems really out of breath. They seem puffed out, like they're exhausted as well. You might say to them, oh, hi, why do you look so exhausted, so puffed out, so tired? They could say to you, oh, I've just been running. I've just been running. I've just been out running. This means that they're not running right this second, but very recently they were running. Yeah, I've just been running. I did 5K. Okay, next up, as second use of the present perfect continuous. So we can use this tense to indicate that some action started in the past but is still kind of happening in general terms. So maybe not right at this very moment, but in general terms, the activity is still going on. It's still happening. Keywords here might include how long and since. So in typical British fashion, let's go back to our rain example. Imagine it's raining. You might ask, oh, how long has it been raining? How long has it been raining? In other words, how much time has it been raining? And I might respond to you saying, oh, it has been raining for hours. It has been raining since 7 a.m. this morning. So here, this is an action that started in the past and is still happening right now in the present moment. Another example, imagine your little brother or little sister is sitting there playing on their phone, playing their games. You might say, oh, my little brother or my little sister has been playing on their phone all day. They have been playing on their phone since the moment they woke up this morning. And to give you another example, maybe a friend of yours is not feeling very well. Maybe they are sick. Maybe they are poorly. You could say, oh, my friend hasn't been feeling very well recently. In other words, they became sick, they became unwell in the past, in some time before the present moment, and they are still feeling unwell now. And finally, we can use the present perfect continuous tense to talk about repeated actions. In other words, things that we started in the past, but we still continue to do in the present. For example, my friend Zena has been teaching English for 3 years. She started teaching English 3 years ago, and she is still teaching English now. My student, Maxine, has been working for her current company for the past 7 months. In other words, she started 7 months ago and she is still working for the company right now. And finally, Jane has been attending the Comic-Con conference for the past 12 years. In other words, she attended the first one 12 years ago and she has been attending ever since. Okay, great work so far, guys. That's like the general idea, a bit of an outline of the present perfect continuous tense. Now let's have a look at how you can start to use it in your everyday conversations. This is where we start to apply these tenses. Tip number 1, you can use the present perfect continuous when you are introducing yourself to someone new. In my opinion, this is the easiest way to start. So when you meet someone new, you could absolutely introduce yourself in a very simple way using the present simple tense, but that's boring. You want to give more information, tell people about timings, how long you've been doing that thing, how long you've been living in this place. So I think the best way is for me to give you an example. So when I meet someone new, this is what I generally say. Hi, I'm Daisy and I'm an English teacher from the UK. I've been teaching English for 8 years now, but I've been working online as an English teacher and language coach since about 2015. So, years. I'm originally from the UK, but I've been working remotely and traveling since 2019. I'm a musician and I'm very passionate about music and songwriting. I've been playing guitar since I was about 8 years old, and I've been writing songs for as long as I can remember. Whilst I'm not fluent in another language, I've been studying Chinese and Spanish for a long time now. My Spanish is probably a little bit better than my Chinese, but practice makes perfect. So you can see here how I'm using the present perfect continuous quite a lot. I could say, I'm an English teacher. I started teaching English 8 years ago. That's fine. But to elevate your English, to sound more confident, you can use the present perfect continuous tense to tell people how long, how much time you've been doing that thing. Hence, I've been teaching English for 8 years. Again, with my music, I could say to someone, I play guitar. I started to play the guitar when I was 8 years old. It's fine, it gives the same information, But if we want to sound more confident, if we want to elevate our English, we can use the present perfect continuous tense to tell the other person more information. We can tell them times, we can say how long we've been doing that thing. As such, I've been playing guitar since I was 8. Can you guess how old I am? No one can. So, write a list of all the things about you. Where you're from, where you live right now, what your hobbies are, what your job is, what you study, and see if you can use the present perfect continuous tense to tell the other person how much time, how long you've been doing those things. Tip number 2, one of the most common questions in the English language after "How are you?" is, what have you been up to? What have you been up to? What have you been up to? So this is a question in the present perfect form. What have you been up to? In other words, what have you been doing recently? How have you been spending your time? So whenever I'm on the phone to my mom or my friends, after we've asked each other how we are, like, how are you? How are you doing? You all right? We then move on to, so, what have you been up to? And you've got it. You can answer using the present perfect continuous tense. So again, to give you some real life Daisy examples, if you asked me what I have been up to recently, how have I been spending my time recently, I could say to you, I've been playing my guitar, I've been teaching my lovely students, I've been making YouTube videos, I've been writing in my journal, as I do every day. I've been taking a lot of long walks recently as well. I've been preparing for a trip to Australia to see my best friend. You get the idea. So with all of these actions, all of these things, I might not necessarily be doing them right now in the present moment. Obviously not, because I'm making this video, but in general times, like this week, today, this afternoon, these are things that I'm generally doing. These are actions and activities that I started in the past, but in general terms, I'm still doing now. So I hope you found that useful. See if you can write your own examples and maybe share them with us in the comments below. Remember, practice makes perfect. I hope this video can help you start applying